Another day, another dollar. This is another day episode. I don't even know what at this point. I've lost count of the guide to profitability. Today's episode is going to be daily bias and setting objectives, which are essentially very much correlated, and then how to trade news. First, let's get into the news. Why? Because news are important, and I want to show you guys the best news information platform, which would be Forex Factory. In Forex Factory, we have what are called, impact news. This is no impact, very little impact, middle impact, and high impact. And let's take a look at all these. So you have these filters which allow you to see what currency. I like seeing USD only, and honestly, the really impactful ones are just like the red. The red ones are like the only ones that really matter. The other ones are like, okay, whatever, it's not a big deal. And then the gray ones are usually just bank holidays, so I leave them on just to see if there's a holiday. And obviously you can see all of this. Today's Thursday, February 26th. We have President for the Euro, President whatever it is speaking, and then today for the USD unemployment claims. So what happens in these days? Well, in days that, let's go back to the US, in days that we have red folder news, depending on the red folder news, we trade with half risk. We risk half of our position. No matter how good the setup is, we still risk only half of our position. For unemployment claims, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the market that much. And the reason why knowing how to trade with red folder news is important is simply because imagine that a red folder news gives a lot of data to the algorithm saying before the market even opens, because usually before the market opens, or like it's going to happen during the market open, it's like, okay, at 8:30, I'm going to know this. So let me get ahead of the game and just like fill all these orders now. Let me manipulate the market like crazy now. So the volume from 9:30 has moved to 8:30. And now in the other case, if we have news coming out at 10, like for example here, ISM manufacturing PMI, the market is like, okay, I don't want to move. Let me see what happens here. Let me see what happens. Let me see what these news say before I can actually go and make these orders happen, because you are risking way too much. Imagine the news go crazy and like it's a terrible set of news and you decide to buy and the price just tanks. It's not a good choice. So you're not going to find, good setups in these like high impact days. So the days that you don't want to trade are NFP, which are non-farm employments, okay? NFP non-farm employments, PPI and CPI, you have to be very careful. So I like to go half risk for those days. So tomorrow, Friday, when you guys are going to be seeing this on Saturday, I would have already traded. I'm going to go half risk because I can expect price not to be the best. Also, Fridays, not an ideal day to trade. I usually go half risk anyway. Then unemployment claims, doesn't matter. But then you have, again, CPI. CPI, I would not go full risk. I'd go half risk. PPI, exact same thing. And then any FOMC, I would go half risk. So for example, Wednesday, March 18th, I would go 100% half risk. Look how many news we have going on. Why would I expect price to behave the same that a day that nothing is happening? It's like you have to predict. It's like, wait, price is probably not going to want to do all these things. Okay? So now let's get into the chart and look at, now that we've understood news and how to trade them, and what is good and what is bad, let's get into the chart, and then let's get into daily bias, let's get into setting objectives, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to a random day with news, and then we're going to go to a random day without news and do all the setting objectives, all the daily bias, and we'll trade to see how different it is. So getting into the chart, I added this little indicator right here, which is ICT kill zones and pivots. I turned everything off except for this at the very bottom, which is the new sessions open, because daily bias is very much dependent on the overnight trading and then the days prior. So to get daily bias, what you need is, and I was doing replay mode before this, this second time I'm recording this, so like let's go into today. What you need is you need to read price beforehand. So like that's the whole point of daily bias. You need to read price beforehand. So in order to get daily bias, what you want to understand is daily bias is going to tell you what is price likely to do, and how do we determine that? We determine by liquidity sweeps, breaks of structure, overall structure, and fair value gaps. Fair value gaps are a really big part. So the first thing you do is you go to the 4-hour time frame immediately. 4-hour time frame. Let's see what happens here. Let's see, okay, what do we have going on? Let's go to a random bar. Let's see. Let's just say over here. All right. Our day opens, so let's go to the, let's just mark it out just because it's easier in this case. So our day opens at 6 p.m. Perfect. We're trading this day. We don't know what's going on. So let's go to the bar selection and let's go to before 10 a.m. This is all we know right here. Okay? This is all we know. What we see is we're in a general uptrend, but there seems to be a trend shift. You know, we made a high, then we made a lower low, like we made a low, and then we made a lower low, then we're making a lower high. Now, I want to see a confirmation of this lower low. So my bias is going to lean a little bit bearish. Why is that? For these three main reasons. First, we have this 4-hour gap up here. Second, we have this 4-hour gap right here. And third, we're in an overall downtrend. As you can see, it's super clear. We're in an overall downtrend. We're going from, we're going from high, and then we make this. We made a lower high. I just want to see our lower low be made, and I can expect price to continue lower. So I'm leaning a little bit more bearish here. Now, are we going to target all the way down here? Absolutely not. That's not a reasonable move. Like, this is stupid. Like, price is not going to move over 2% in a day. That's like extremely rare. Extremely, extremely, extremely rare. So now that we have these in mind, let's mark them out. Let's say, okay, we have a 4-hour gap. Perfect. We have another 4-hour gap. Perfect. Let's go into the one. Oh, and then also here, I didn't even see this. We have this 4-hour gap right here, which is actually trading against my overall bias. So we have 4-hour gap, which is even better. And you might say, wait, how's that better? Wouldn't it be more confusing? It's not, though. Because think about it this way. We have all the indications of whether we want to change the trend or you want to continue the trend. If we want to continue the trend, then we're going to start trading down into here. We're going to see price come down into here and then continue going down into here, and then we can target this low. So that's an option for today. Second option, we go up. We react off of this hourly gap right here because our initial bias is bearish because of overall like trading. And then we see continuations lower. What is another option? Price just runs through this 4-hour gap and then starts trading higher, targeting probably this fair value gap, filling some of the orders in here, probably the middle, all the way up here. So those are my three options right here. I want to plan. You really want to prepare before anything happens. Like, you don't want to get caught off guard, because if you get caught off guard, then that just means that you weren't, like, you're going to miss out on your entry and you're going to be like, oh crap, like I knew this was going to happen. I just wasn't prepared. Okay, so now what you need to do is, once you have that, you have a clear idea of what price wants to do. Now let's go to the lower time frame, see if there's any other mysteries that are waiting for us. Let's go to the hourly, and as you can see now, I can delete this drawing from the previous days. This is where we're gonna see, okay, what is going on? We're trading lower, but there's this hourly gap that's being respected. We're seeing bullish moves out of it. We have this hourly gap right here, and we have a pretty clean set of liquidity that we might want to take out to see some reactions right there. So now we have an even clearer plan of what's going to happen. Price is trading all the way up here. We probably want to see a move into here and then move lower, right? Or, and this is even better, look at this. We have now a bullish hourly fair value gap right here. So this is a 1-hour gap, meaning that price, if we're gonna go bearish, it's gonna go down. It's gonna disrespect this, and it's just gonna go down and then continue going down. So we don't have to wait for the 4-hour now. We just have to wait for the 1-hour. And if we want to wait for the 1-hour, we also can see, if we want to be bullish, we're going to go like this. So we have a better plan now. We have an even clearer plan. So my daily bias for today, I'm leaning bearish. Why? Because there's more things telling me that we want to go down. I don't know what just happened. There's more things that are telling me that we want to go down than that we want to go up. But in order for me to fully determine where we want to go, and this is what I do, and this is super, 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 super essential, is the opening range move. What this is between 9:30 and 9:45, the market is going to go in one direction, and it's going to tell you, hey, you know what? I want to go here. And this leads us to our following topic, which is objectives. The opening range move, the first 15 minutes after the 9:30 open, is going to give you such a clear idea of what the objectives are. And that's how you take your trade. So what are objectives? Objectives could be many things, but usually they're previous day highs. As you can see right here, between these two bars is the previous day. We have previous day lows, which is all the way down here in this case. We have fair value gaps, high time for fair value gaps, a 4-hour gap right here, Let's target the midpoint because it's a, a reasonable price. Anything of that regard. In this case, we have another previous day low all the way down here. Maybe we want to target all the way down there. And then one more previous day low over here. So we have objectives. We have clear places where we want to see price go. Whether we react off of it or whether we go into it, that's up to price. Now, let's go into a lower time frame. Let's go to the 15-minute now. Let's see if there's anything new, anything hiding here. No, looks about the same. Seems like my bias appears to be somewhat similar. And let's see, let's go to the 5-minute here. What does the opening range move do? Market opens, it goes up, it comes down, and then it's showing us a move up. So right now we're trending higher, but let's wait for a clearer move. Can we go to the 1 minute? We can. We'll have to stick with the 5-minute. We're clearly wanting to see a little bit of a move up. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we get a clearer move up. Boom, there's a clear move up. Can't ask for anything else. Now, what do we have to wait for? We have to wait for M or W. Potentially, we already had it right here because of this opening range move, but that's fine. So now, what's going to happen? Let's say we haven't taken a trade yet. What are our objectives? These highs right here. This high, and then this high, and then like anything after that. But what do I want to see first? I want to see this 4-hour gap get disrespected because then that confirms that we actually want to go up and we don't want to go down. So let's see what happens. We're trading up. Oh, hold on now. We've respected the 4-hour gap. So is my bias going to change? Not yet. I want to wait for confirmation. I want to wait for my confirmation, and confirmation is going to be on the next video. My next video is going to be about like M's and W's, like so you guys can have the full checklist of the trading. But let's say we don't have a confirmation yet, so we wait. Do we have a confirmation? Boom. That looks like a pretty good confirmation that we actually want to go lower. There's likely another one in here, but let's see what happens. Price. Okay, we end up getting faked out. That's perfectly fine. I guess in the 5-minute we didn't make a high, like a prominent lower low. Therefore, it doesn't matter. And this is, this is now showing. Again, I wish I could show you guys a 1 minute because I would likely be in a trade from here, but that's okay. So I'll just be super transparent, and then we can go to a different example. In this case, price now decides to go back up. Perfect. We make a higher high. We make a higher low. Then we make a higher high. We can enter a long right there, and once our objective is hit, which is this previous day high, we can, boom, exit our trade. We're happy men. We've won our trade. Just like that. Now, what are we doing? Are we going to leave? I want to keep trading? No, our objective has been hit. You should be happy with your win. That's all. Leave the charts. Like, there's nothing else for you to do here. That's all. That's all. So objectives are like where you want to see price go. Now, let's go to a different random place. Let's go to another random place to see, okay. Let's go into the example. Let's go back here and let me check the news and see what day we can trade that to show you guys that there's some good and some bad days. Here we go. Perfect. So we're gonna go to it's gonna be Thursday, November 20th. So November 20th, and then we're gonna go at 9 a.m. because we trade the 9:30 open, and we can analyze. Let's go in here. Today is a bad trading day. I would risk half of my position. Why? Because, and you'll see right here, we have NFP. We have NFP, and we have unemployment claims and unemployment rate and average hourly earning. 4 red folder news that might make price move worse. So that's why we have risk. We don't full risk in these cases. So let's go to the chart and make our analysis. Let's go to the 4-hour here. Well, I can't go to the 4-hour because it's going to spoil it. So we'll just stick with the 1 hour because I don't want to cheat. I want to, show that this is how it is. All right, let's think about this from the grand scheme of things. Where's price going? We're going up. We're trending up. Clearly, we're going from down here to up here. There's clearly orders in this high right here that want to be filled, and potentially even more because we have a clear displacement move down. So let's mark out like this high right here in case that we actually want to continue higher. But my final objective would likely be this previous day high. So let's mark it out as a previous day high. And then let's mark out everything else that we see. What do we see? Well, we see a stack of 1-hour gaps right here. Perfect. We see a stack of 1-hour gaps. This is likely a 4-hour gap, so we'll mark it as a 1-hour gap just because it's probably a 4-hour, but we'll mark it as an hour because that's what we're doing. What other objectives do we have? We have this hourly gap fill right here. At the very top, there's this hourly set of gaps. Actually, that's not even a good objective. This is a great final objective. Okay, perfect. Let's go to the lower time frame now. Let's go to the 50-minute. What do we see? Same story. We clearly want to go up. There's clearly objectives here. There's clearly places where price wants to go. Fantastic. Let's go to the 5-minute. Let's corroborate that. Cool. What do we see? The 5 minute, okay, we have a pretty clear bullish structure, but we're not gonna let this news, oh, and here's another concept. So you can see at 8:30, we make a pretty big move. That's a news candle. These have a lot of orders in them. This fair value gap up here, not so good. But this fair value gap down here, this is a news fair value gap. Therefore, there's a lot of orders there. So if we want to be bullish, I want to see us respect this. And if we want to be bearish, I want to see us disrespect this. Now, let's go and skip until the market open, which should be soon, 9:30. Okay. So boom, one more. Let's see what market does. Okay, we start a little bit bullish. Let's wait for the opening range move. So boom, boom, boom. Okay, nothing super clear as of now. Let's head to the 1 minute, see what's going on. Okay, we're trading into this 1 minute gap, which is the news gap. There's a lot of information here. There's a lot of orders here. We want to have a lot of push up. Do we have a clear direction? Not yet. We could go up or down. So, but you know, our daily bias, as much as it was bullish, we have to wait for a confirmation. Let's see what happens. Price doesn't want to give us. Okay, that's a little bit better. We don't have anything. Nothing yet. Okay, we're making moves, but we're not making clear moves. Okay, now we're making a little bit more of a clear move. So if I see a clean retrace and then a continuation higher, meaning that we make a higher high, in this case, a higher high, a higher low, and then a higher high, I'm willing to enter a trade. So let's see what happens. Okay, this is a great move right here. I want to see us now disrespect all of these bearish gaps in this range right here. Perfect. Let's see what happens. Do we want to do that? Do we want to do that? It doesn't look like we want to do that. Oh, maybe this is the time to do that. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. We don't have a closure above. 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 Nothing. Okay. Boom. Closure above. Whatever. We were supposed to enter on this candle. Let's say we didn't. We're in a buy. Where's our stop loss? It's going to be at the most recent lower low right here. Where's our objective? Well, in this case, we want to get a decent risk to reward. So our objective should be this 4-hour gap fill. And our break even is going to be this previous day high. Break even is when you move your stop loss into the same price that you had, you know, where you entered, so you don't lose any money. Again, I'm going to cover it in the next video that you guys see. So let's see how this runs out. Again, we're half risk, and for this exact reason, we have really bad price action simply because there is not a clear move here. We don't have any clear direction. Like, as much as we had a clear direction, the news had so much volatility and there's so much chop going around that there's no reason for us to believe that this is actually going to play out, which is why we have risk. Did we lose? Yes, we lost. Is that the end of the world? Is not the end of the world. Now, nothing you can do now. So let me show you guys. That's a great example on why you shouldn't be trading news. And if the market is chopping around like this, again, remember, we want to avoid consolidation market. If the market is chopping around like this, just turn off your computer, man. You're not going to get your setup. It's not going to happen. So that's why you have to be careful. Now, let's go to a random day with no news. Let's even say the month of November. Let's go all the way back to November as well to make it fair. Thursday, November 13th, a week prior. There is no news. There's nothing going on. Let's see how we can trade here. We'll do the exact same thought process, the exact same ideas, everything exactly the same. So let's go to the 1 hour. Let's determine our daily bias. See what's going on. Okay. On the hourly, okay, we're trending bearish. There's clearly a trend bearish, but we have this hourly fair value gap right here, which likely wants to get filled. So that's one of our objectives. One of our gap is one of our objectives. We have this low that wants to get filled, which is one of our objectives. And then that's all I see for now. Let's just leave those two objectives. Now, let's mark out this right here as well. Because it's another low that might potentially be an objective. So let's just leave it there. Those are our objectives for the day. Now, this would be a previous day low. And in this case, we could just mark this as hourly low with an L. Let's think bullish now. What do we want to do? Bullish. What are our objectives? Well, it seems pretty clear. It's high of day. So the high made of that day, because you know we're trading within Thursday. Now here, the previous day high. And those two seem like pretty fair objectives, but I'll even mark out this one in case we want to be extra bullish, which would be another previous day high. Perfect. Now, what do we want to do? Again, wait for our opening range move to tell us exactly where we want to go. If I zoom out and I look at this, I'm not quite sure where we want to go because we're consolidating. We're not moving anywhere. There's not really any clear direction. Sure, right now we're trending bearish, so I am imagining that price is going to continue lower and fill this whole range, but I have nothing to really convince me of that. So now we can go to the 5-minute here, see that we are trending bearish. We are disrespecting bullish order flow, which like these bullish gaps and then this bullish gap and everything. But I want to wait for my opening range move. So let's see what happens. Nothing happens. Okay, our first objective was met. That's perfectly fine. We can get rid of it. Let's see. So market is going to open on the next candle, I believe. Yeah, so let's market open. All right, let's see. 9:30. Okay, boom. Very clear opening range move. We clearly want to go lower. That's obvious. So this is our objective, one of the previous day lows. Let's set a different objective here too. Let's set this low right here, just a random wick low because it seems appropriate. So we can now go, we can scale into the 1 minute, and what we want to see after this opening range move that is disrespecting this hourly gap. I know we're trending bearish, but we want to see our great formation, which is a push up, making a lower high and then a lower low, confirming our move to 100% certainty. So let's see what happens. Okay, we make a little bit of a move up. Perfect. This looks really good for a move up. Now, I do want to state that if price comes this close to a low, chances are it wants to take the low. We also formed bullish PD arrays or bullish indicators here. We have this 1 minute gap. Perfect. We swept this and we're reacting off of these clear 5-minute gaps right here. This is beautiful. Now I just want to see confirmation. I want to see us go lower. So let's see what happens. Nothing, 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 nothing. We don't get anything. Okay, there we go. Now we have something to work with. Why? Because we made a low and then we made a lower low. Now, is this a risky entry? 100%. This is not exactly what I would want to see. This is an A+, but let's just say that we're taking this here. Our stops are going to be above this 1 minute gap in case we want to sweep these highs and then continue lower. And then our objective, let's put our objective at let's just do a 1 to 2. Just because let's just do like a 1 to 2 to show you guys that this is like workable. So boom, 1 to 2. Again, this trade could win or lose. I feel like I would take this because it does form a pretty clear M. We make a high, we make a low, we make a high, we make a very clear low. And it seems to me like we do want to continue lower. So let's see what happens. Cool, we're going lower, going lower. Oh, looks like we were wrong. That's perfectly fine. Not a big deal, not the best of days. It happens. Okay, we lost our trade. We made a pretty good analysis. Everything made sense. And this is why, again, I wasn't fully convinced about this trade simply because we didn't really make a prominent lower low. So now you might be thinking, wait, we just made a higher high. We closed above this 1 minute. Are we going to enter long? No, we're not going to enter long because we've already lost our trade. That's all we can do. We'll let price play out now. Looks like longs were the play, or it looks like price wasn't the best. But even though price wasn't the best, it was a lot better than the news trading. Okay, we lost today. It's fine. It's not a big deal. You're going to win some. You're going to lose some. It's all good. Like it's perfectly fine. I can't guarantee you a 100% win rate strategy. Now, let's try to find a winning day. Let's go to random day here. Let's go, no matter news or not, let's go to like October. Let's go to November. Thanksgiving, no. Let's go to December. Let's go like December 17th. Let's do that. See what happens. Now, let's erase all the drawings and do the whole same analysis over again. I just realized I picked the wrong date. So 17th, and let's do 9 a.m. here. And then we can go into the 1 hour and see what happens. Okay, great. Let's zoom out a little bit. What do we have? Clear bullish trend. What do we have? Very clear bullish objectives. We have these highs. We have this high. We have these highs right here. Pretty clear bullish objectives if you ask me. We're also reacting off of this 1 hour gap right here, which means that we're likely to see moves higher. So my daily bias right now is bullish. We're trading outside of this hourly gap. I want to see us continue higher, make a low, and then continue higher, and that's what I'll enter. For bearish, I would want to see us trade outside of this hourly gap, but I don't think it's going to happen, and we have these lows and then these lows to target. Just like that. Boom, super quick analysis. Let's head down to the 5 minute now, see what we have. We have this bearish value gap right here, but it's not really worth marking. Price isn't moving the best right now, so I want to see a clear move. Now let's go to 9:30. Okay, 9:30 opens. We're trading outside of this hourly gap. We're making moves down. And then let's wait for another move. Okay, that's fine. Boom, 9:45. Okay, 9:45, 9:40, 9:40, 9:45. Our opening range move is bearish. However, we do have all these, as much as we do have all these lows, we want to make sure that there's confirmation that we're bearish, that we're not just going to go right back up after sweeping lows. So what do I want to see? I want to see a retrace up and then continuation lower. Let's see what we get. We don't get the retrace. We get a small retrace. Okay, this is a good retrace. Now, if we are going to be bearish, I want to see a closure below this candle right here, confirming our bearish move. So let's see what happens. No confirmation yet, no confirmation yet, no confirmation yet. Nothing to really tell me that we're going to go down. Nothing, 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 nothing. Looks like it wasn't a great day. Okay. Okay, well, crap. Too late now, but I would enter off here. Stops above here. My break even would be some type of low, probably these lows right here, which means that we'd be break even immediately. And let's just target this for like a 1-to-1. What happens? Price comes there, we're break even, but we're still trading. Boom, our take profit gets hit. We could even go for a 1 to 1.5. Can we go even lower? Yes, we can. We can go for a 1 to 2, just like that. Why? Because we waited for the confirmation to go lower. We waited for that breakout. I actually think I took this trade, and I think I won this trade. I'm not 100% sure, but I took this trade because, look, sure, our daily bias was wrong, but we waited for the opening range move to tell us where we wanted to go. Did we go bullish immediately after flipping this 1 minute? No, because I want to see a clear direction. And we saw a clear escape. We broke out of this zone. We made a lower low right here compared to all these lows, and we didn't see any bullish reactions. So we enter lows, and we just go down from there. So that's basically it. That's all it is. There's nothing else to it. You set your daily bias by looking at the higher time frame. Then you set your objectives to where you think price is going to go. And then from there, you just go into lower time frame, make sure it makes sense, that is not unattainable objectives, and then, you just take your trade following the trend. That's the whole point of this, okay? Honestly, there's not much else to it. That's basically it for the video. I know that this is longer than usual, but it's fine. I wanted to show you guys transparency. I lost a trade. I lost 2 trades, actually. One because of news and the other one just because it was a bad day, but then we won another trade, so it's good. That's all I got to say. Daily bias, you determine where you want to go, which is corroborated by objectives, your objectives of the day. Followed by that, you can also see if you have news or you don't have news to see how much you're risking. And then from there, you scale down to the lower time frame, make sure the lower time frame aligns with the higher time frame. And then from there, you can find your entry on the 1 minute. All right. Next video will be on M's and W's. So M, I guess we'll do it like this. M and W's, which will be the exact strategy video that you need for like more detailed entries. I know that I already made a strategy video, but it's just like a proof of concept to show you guys that the strategy works. This will be more of like a checklist of everything to do, and we'll do some back testing. All right, I'll leave it at that. Peace out, guys.